Ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time. I'm Jefferson Penrod. The clock is running, so let's go to work. We are 2 games through the NBA Finals, a great series so far, and the New York Knicks are up 2-0 over the San Antonio Spurs. Game 3 is tonight in what will surely be a raucous and rowdy Madison Square Garden. I mean, the get-in price is well over $6,000. Going to be insane. The Knicks know if they win this game, they've all but locked up the series, and for San Antonio, it's a must-win. Because if the Spurs don't win tonight, they've all but lost the series. So, very important Game 3 tonight. Here's what I got to do first. I have to apologize to the New York Knicks. Now, I know I'm nowhere near relevant enough to be bulletin board material, but I underestimated New York so heavily. I thought that whoever came out of the West, whether it would be the Spurs or the Thunder, would come in and pretty handily beat the Knicks in 5 or 6 games, and I was just wrong. The Knicks deserve their flowers. It's been a historic playoff run. I mean, 13 straight games that they've won in the playoffs. Their last loss was Game 3 of the first round against Atlanta. It's been a dominant run. It's been a historic run, and they deserve to be up 2-0 in this series. They've won both of those games. They've made the plays when they needed to make them. To me, the MVP of this series has been Karl Anthony Towns, at putting up 19.5 points, 12.5 boards, and 4 assists on 56% from the field, 43% from 3, and 100% from the charity stripe. I mean, just all-out incredible performance. He's been able to stay on the floor, not get too bad in foul trouble, playing over 34 minutes a game. He leads New York in plus-minus at an average of plus 12.5 per game. But beyond his offense and the efficiency at which he's been playing on the offensive side of the ball, he's been incredible defensively. He's been leading the charge on defending Victor Wembanyama, and it's worked. Wemby is shooting 40% from the field and 27% from 3. On both ends of the floor, Karl Anthony Towns has just been fantastic. He's been the two-way superstar that people have wanted to see him be his whole career, and he's now turning it on and doing just that. If he continues playing this way at this high of a level, the Knicks will be in cruise control to win the title. And it honestly won't even be close. If he can put up this defensive performance on Wembanyama and do what he's been doing on the offensive side of the ball, the Knicks should win relatively handily. Because despite the fact that the Knicks have won both of these games, they have had some issues. And part of that is it Jalen Brunson certainly isn't the issue, but he's emblematic of a lot of the problems the Knicks have had. Brunson, like much of the rest of the Knicks squad, has been very streaky. But, importantly, on his game when it matters most. He's putting up 25 points per game, but only on an average 9 from 28 from the field. Not a great shooting percentage. But in the fourth quarter, he's turned it on. He's played like one of the best players in the world in the fourth quarter when it matters most, and that's why the Knicks are up 2-0 in this series. Not just because of Brunson, but because, by and large, when it comes to those minutes in the clutch, the Knicks have played well. They've played better than they have at any other point in the series. So Brunson has been playing well. The Knicks have been playing well, but emblematic of their issues is Jalen Brunson's streakiness, because the Knicks have been streaky at times during the series as well. And so while it's gotten the job done, and it's certainly a big reason why the Knicks are up 2-0 in this series, it worries me a bit that he and the Knicks can't be consistent. They haven't been dominant for a full quarter in this series. Now, granted, again, they've gotten it done. They've made the plays when they needed to. They're up 2-0. They are surely in the driver's seat to winning the title. But it leaves room for the Spurs to come back in games and to come back in this series. And the Knicks still can improve. They haven't played their best game of basketball yet. An example of that is Josh Hart. Josh Hart's made some great plays, but scoring-wise has not been good at all. And so if he turns it on, if the Knicks can put it together, even just for a full quarter of basketball to be as dominant as they've been throughout the course of the playoffs, it'll be hard for San Antonio to get a win in this series, let alone get the series win. So the Knicks are in the driver's seat, but I want to talk for a second about San Antonio. Now, Inside the NBA is more often known for kind of being a funny show, less than some hard-hitting analysis. But Charles Barkley said something during the halftime show of Game 2 that I thought was super, super profound, and I think a big part of what's been going on in the series. And that is that Wembanyama has felt for the first time what it's like to not be the most dominant player on the floor. It's almost like in boxing, like if you get hit by a punch and you're kind of just staggering back a little bit. Wemby's been staggering in this series. And I don't even necessarily think that it's all physical and on the court. I think a lot of it is mental. Wemby just seems a little bit rattled. Now, while that's good that that's something that can change, that's something that needs to change quick. He's just been rattled. Some of the plays that he's made, especially down the stretch of these games, have been uncharacteristic. I mean, he's made passes, taken shots, had turnovers that just don't seem like what we've seen out of Wemby this year. Not necessarily the Stephon Castle one. That was probably a little bit more on Stephon Castle than it was on Wemby, but just plays. It's just emblematic of the way that Wemby and the Spurs in a whole feel rattled. I mean, Wemby's averaging 5 turnovers a game. That's not good, especially for your center. But Wemby isn't the only problem. I mean, he could play well, but he's still putting up 28 points a night. The Spurs need a true number 2 to rise to the occasion in this series. With how the Knicks are playing, and especially with how they're playing defensively, their defensive coverage against the Spurs and Wembanyama, someone needs to step up. De'Aaron Fox could be that guy. He needs to play better. Keldon Johnson needs to actually play like a 6th man of the year. Stephon Castle needs to play at his best. Guys just need to hit their shots, and someone needs to step up and be that number 2. Because if you look at the scoring, and I know that box scores and scoring aren't everything, Wemby's averaging almost 28 points a game. Then Dylan Harper off the bench putting up 15.5. Harper, by the way, looking very, very good. Stephon Castle, 15.5. De'Aaron Fox, 13.5. Champagnie, 12. Vassell, 11.5. And then Keldon Johnson with 3, and no one else with over a point. So, especially in a series like this and against a team like the Knicks, you can't just win by committee. Someone else needs to step up next to Wembanyama to be dominant and win them a game. I mean, again, the series is still winnable. 2-0 deficits have come back. People have come back down from 2-0 deficits. I mean, the Knicks gave up a 2-0 series lead over the Bucks a couple of years ago, and I think the Knicks are well aware of that. But the Spurs have to play at their best every night if they even want to have a shot. So tonight in Game 3, what do the Spurs need to do? Beyond just play at their best, they need to get out early. They need to shut up this crowd, because it's going to be an electric environment. I mean, it's not just going to be the arena. The streets of New York are going to be filled with fans, and that environment, that pressure is going to be there. The Spurs need to get out. They need to throw the first punch and the second punch and the third punch. They need to get out to a good start and put the Knicks on the back foot, because if the Knicks come out and go on an early run, that arena is not going to shut up, and it's going to be hard for the Spurs to fight back into this game and into this series. Now, obviously, if the Knicks win Game 3, the series is practically over. The Spurs need to win tonight, and preferably on Wednesday in Game 4. Now, we talked about the mental stuff. The mental stuff is important, because even if they win Game 3, if Game 4 is a blowout and you go back to San Antonio down 3-1 with the last game being a blowout, that could spell doom for the Spurs. You need to, for sure, win Game 3 and at least keep it close if you even want to have a shot. Obviously, ideally, you need to win Game 4 to just make it a best 2 out of 3 the rest of the way with home court advantage. But start with Game 3 tonight, get the win, and then look to what comes next. I'm personally very excited. I mean, the first 2 games have been great to watch. I was watching the Game 2 the other day with my dad when I got down to the last couple of minutes, and I I just was standing up and pacing around. And my dad was like, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "No, I'm just excited. It's been fun." I was talking to my friend Ami, shout out Ami, and he said that when he saw the Wemby Castle turnover where Wemby passed it to Castle and Castle didn't see it, that he almost flipped a table at a restaurant he was at with his family. I mean, it's just things like that. Sports are just exciting. And this series has proven to be an exciting series, and I hope that it continues. I mean, the Knicks have a very good chance of winning this in 4 games, but selfishly, I want to see as many games of this series as we can because every night it's been fantastic. We're in a very good time in sports generally. I mean, the finals have been great. The Stanley Cup final has been incredible. I'm not super into hockey. I'm trying to get into it more, but that's been incredible every night. We've got the World Cup coming up, men's college World Series, like so much great things going on in sports right now. And certainly this series has played into it, and I hope that the series goes longer. But the way that it's looking, especially if the Knicks win one of the next 2 games, this series could be over quickly. And again, just going to be a great environment tonight. I can't wait to feel that energy through the broadcast. So looking forward to it, and I hope you are as well. That will do it for this episode of Crunch Time. Make sure you're following on Instagram at Crunch Time with Jeffy. Check out the Game 7 podcast as well. If you're here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. And other than that, have fun watching Game 3 tonight, and we'll see you later.